And welcome to this Houston Newsmakers Extra. I'm talking with Fort Bend Independent School District Superintendent Dr. Christie Whitbeck. And we've been talking about this VATRE vote. It's not a bond. You've been watching the program, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't been watching the program, shame on you. Go back and find out. So what happens if people say no to this? What does it mean if there is I shouldn't say shortfall, but what does it mean if the voters say no to keeping the tax rate where it is?
Well, it means that we're going to need to make some major budget cuts because we will not have the revenue that we need to maintain the programs and some of the things that we're offering. So, for example, one of the things that to me is the beautiful part of Fort Bend ISD is the amount of opportunity and choices that kids have. We have academies, we have a CTE center, we have all kinds of thriving programs within our schools, we have a early college high school, we just have a lot, fine arts, 18 sports, I mean, we've got it all. And so we're going to have to look closely at what is that budget. And I'm not saying certain things are going to be cut. I'm just saying $47 million is a lot of money. And just for a point of information, I've already cut $15 million last summer. So I've already taken a lot of the, what I would call central office jobs. I've taken them off the table. And so now we're going to have to cut a little deeper.
So you said something earlier, I think the layman would want to know. You said the state is asking you to do, what is this? Why is the state involved in telling you, a local school district, how to push down your tax rate?
Well, you know, I think that's a better question for legislators, but I understand the mindset is that the property piece of your tax bill is to this ISDs, right? Mm-hmm. So if you tell us you have to bring it down, you're helping save that constituent dollars. And so that's the motive behind it. I have conversations with our elected officials. We have several elected officials in very high positions that are very much in favor of this, but not all of them. Mm-hmm. So it just depends, but they do get into, it's not just Fort Bend, this would be all ISDs. Sure. All right, but if you're a charter school, you don't have to go on a ballot for something. If you're any other entity, you don't. But the cities actually and the public school districts, ISDs, this is affecting us. So they're asking, and as I said, we've been compressing, and it's been going down. But now they want it to go down even more. And we find that that's going to be a challenge. So we would go down to like $1.13, and when we were at $1.34 just 3 years ago. So, but people are confused, Camberl. They're confused because their bills are going up, and they think that it's the school districts, one, that is determining that, and two, that's getting all that money. Mm-hmm. So two things that they need to understand. We don't determine their property value. We determine the rate you're assessed on it per $100. So that rate is going down. It's just that their values have been going up, so therefore their check is bigger that they're writing.
But they're being asked now to say they're going to just hold their tax rate where it is.
That's what we're asking, and we're also looking ahead and thinking that the inflation on the homes has got to slow down. It can't keep on going up to the level that it's going. That's what we're also hoping that's a factor as well.
What are the priorities you have for the money that will be coming as a result of people saying we're going to leave this tax rate as it is?
Well, in addition to just helping us with the overall budget and the things I mentioned, we want to take care of our teachers and our employees. COVID has hit our employees hard, and I think that's a whole nother segment on teachers, because as a lifelong educator here in Houston, I'm very worried about our teachers, and I feel like we've really got to compensate them. The work is hard, and they need to be treated as the heroes that they are. And that includes bus drivers and special ed aides and all of our employees. The other thing that we want to do, and that we're hearing a cry out from many parents after the Uvalde tragedy, is to have officers at our elementary schools. And we do have them at the middle school and high schools, but we do not have them stationed at elementaries. And so should this pass, that is one of the things we are committed to doing, and that's 55 more officers for us, so that's a lot. But to have one assigned to each elementary school.
So it seems to me that's like the lead, if you will, in terms of the priorities that are out there. What do you hear from voters who are saying no to this? I know you hear some people who say no, we don't want to do this. What are they saying to you about why there's a reason to vote no on something like this?
Probably the number one thing I've heard is, no, you've got too much money, spend it, make cuts. And so that's where I think our commitment is also important. I've already cut $15 million. And I'm committed, should this pass, to cutting another 23. And we're working on it every single day. We're looking at every vacancy. We're looking at every contract. So I do want us to be lean, and I think we owe the taxpayers that.
So if this passes, you'll cut another 23, but you still get, there's more money that's going to be coming in,
Well,
but
47.
23 from the, but okay.
Yes.
Got it.
But if we don't pass it, then we'll have to cut 47.
Right. I got it.
And that's going to be a little painful.
Well, but I thank you for coming in, because there are a lot of things when you read what's on the, even if you read the stories in the newspaper and other places about, it's still kind of confusing.
It's very confusing.
So I'm glad that you came in, because it's not a bond proposal. It's not something you're voting on extra money. You're just voting on the tax rate to stay the same as what it was last time.
Even though the ballot will say increase.
Yeah.
It's not an increase to the rate.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Dr. Whitbeck, thank you so much for doing what you do. And as a child of a family of teachers, I really appreciate what you do.
And Fort Bend ISD dad.
Fort Bend ISD dad too, that too. You got me on that. Hey, this is Houston Newsmakers Extra. Share it with everybody you know.